Hi everyone, good evening sa inyong lahat. I'm Jerry Ila, the founder of Olern, your e-learning platform for SMEs, and also Tarki, your field force automation. Welcome to day 9 ng Olern Live. So for those of you who are watching, please say hi and where are you from sa ating chat box. Yan, paramdam kayo. Please say hi and where are you from sa ating chat box. Now, let me introduce my partner and co-host, the chairman of AFI, the founder of Retail Academy, director of PMA and OD consultant. Please help me welcome Mr. Eric Kaeg. Hi, Sir Eric. Kumusta?
Good evening, Sir Jerry.
Yes.
It's our 9th edition, and welcome to all our net viewers tonight. We have a very exciting session tonight. We have an expert in the field of marketing research. Sir Jerry, kamusta po kayo?
Yes, medyo busy. May mga presentations kanina, tapos sabay-sabay yung AFI Forum. But yan, good. Kasi yeah, the business is picking up both for Tarki and Olern. So yan, medyo busy with the client presentations.
Great.
Okay, Sir Eric, kumusta?
We're very blessed that our guest tonight has agreed to join us, and I'm sure for most of our viewers who are either into consumer goods, either consumers or the ones selling, you'll have good insights from our expert tonight. So, pakilala na natin siya, Sir Jerry.
Yes, actually yan, very excited ako dito. So, but before that, Sir Eric, yon, for those who are watching, please say hi and where are you from sa ating chat box. And also, I would like to thank natin yung co-presenter natin sa Olern Virtual Business Summit, Union Bank Global Linker, si JP. Thank you so much.
JP,
Our advocacy partner si AFI, Go Negosyo, Philippine Marketing Association, Philippine Retail Association, Let's Eat Pare, Institute of Management Consultants of the Philippines, Retail Academy, Lipreneur, and of course, Tarki. So yan, maraming salamat sa ating mga advocacy partners. Yan. And yun, for those who just came in, please say hi and where are you from sa ating chat box. And also don't forget to share this broadcast so that more people will be able to watch it. Yun. So, sabi mo nga, Sir Eric, we're very blessed because we have an expert tonight. And this is actually something na passionate ako as an entrepreneur. Although I did not have that, kumbaga siguro, what we call that, discipline or kaya yan, training on consumer insighting. Pero yan, I'm looking forward to this presentation tonight. So our speaker is a recognized authority in the field of strategic market research with over 30 years of experience in the Philippines, Asia Pacific region, and other markets. She is the CEO and founder of Synergy Market Research plus Strategic Consultancy, a management consulting company providing research and data analytics since 1999. Since Synergy's inception, they have been providing companies strategies with evidence-based strategic inputs to help in decision making for business growth and digital transformation needs. She is a 2016 finalist, ESOMAR's Eureka Project for Social Values Market Research, and also 2019 finalist for Next Generation Market Research Award. She is also the former executive vice president of the Philippine Marketing Association. So please help us welcome our speaker for tonight, Miss Germaine
Hey,
Reyes.
hey,
Yay.
Hey,
Good
hi, Miss
evening, good
Germaine.
evening. How
good
are you
evening.
guys?
Good evening.
Ninth
Okay naman po.
session.
Yes.
So 13 more to go. Wow. I envy your energy. Thank you so much. Um, First of all, I'd like to thank you for having me here, Jerry. Eric, salamat sa invitasyon. Thank you for this opportunity. Actually, we were talking about this topic, and I don't know whether this is an opportune time. Siguro naman. I didn't want to be really ahead in your series, because medyo tinitimpla pa natin ang ating ang ating mga merkado, ng ating mga consumers. And I guess definitely during the first week of the quarantine period, people were trying to grapple on
Yes.
what is the situation, what have we gotten ourselves into, and what do we do, no? And the fear, we sort of sense the fear of the future because there seemed to be suddenly, there's that uncertainty of what's looming ahead of all of
Mm-hmm.
us. So allow me to medyo at least hopefully pacify that uncertainty. Okay, di ba? And allow ourselves to become a little bit more rational. Okay, nandun tayo, naging emotional tayo during the first week, ano? But
Yes.
hopefully, with this presentation, hopefully, we get back to our usual selves. We being marketeers or business people, I think we think that we I do believe that we are all rational beings, and we need to plan ahead. That's our job, no? So we can start
Yes, please.
with this
Yes.
presentation. Allow me to weave an understanding of how are we going to navigate around this situation. And halfway through the presentation, I'll be giving you some tips so for us to stay calm and collected in these uncertain times. Okay. So just a bit of a background. We certainly cannot compare this crisis with what the world has seen in the past almost a quarter of a century before. I'm sure that the mature adults in this audience, in this session, would have heard about the financial crisis that hit Asia in 1997 and 1998. Of course, I was alive then. This was when we saw the peso getting devalued suddenly in less than a few days, a few weeks. And also, suddenly, those who got impacted by this would be those who are importing goods. Uh, and they became despondent on how the peso exchange rate was going to perform. That was also the time when I was still in a multinational company, and we had to figure out the implications on what's happening to our business then. And then 2007 came around, and I'm sure we've heard about the world financial crisis. We were more resilient as a country at that time versus other countries because of many factors that's working well for us. And I won't get too much into the details of this because I'm pretty sure you've interviewed a lot of finance experts who can talk more about this. And then now, okay, uh, what makes this a crisis situation is because it's a sudden situation. What started out as a medical concern became an epidemic, which turned into a pandemic, and which now has become an economic crisis, threatening many businesses, including mine and probably a lot of companies out there, threatening many businesses to close. And this has created chaos in the global economy as a whole. So we ask ourselves, Is there a silver lining? And if yes, where is it? When will it happen? All we know at this point in time is similar with what this popular economist and author, Paul Samuelson, what he said was that what we know about the global financial crisis is that we don't know much. Okay. Um, Allow me to emerge the big idea of this quote. The big idea is that let's take comfort in the idea that historically speaking, we don't know very much as a crisis happens, but history will tell us that there are companies that have weathered one crisis or more. What's unsaid probably is that we take one day at a time in figuring this out. Now, perhaps the best way to think about crisis is how uh, I think everyone knows Albert Einstein, that a crisis creates opportunity. As what he said, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. Isn't that heartening to know? And because of crisis situations like this, it will require us to rethink what we're doing. What Peter Drucker, who is the father of modern management, is saying is that since there is a structural change that the crisis has created, essentially, we can't possibly apply what we've been doing before as a way to do business now. So we have to think of new ways to do things. And this particular quote probably will help us to put things in perspective to allow us to think more clearly. And putting it in another perspective, okay, the way Simon Sinek describes what's happening is that this is a disruption. But he goes on to say that disruption has been happening in the past. All those examples that you would hear him talk about, Airbnb, Uber, etc. This disruption is not unprecedented. That's his quote. But he recognizes, and we all recognize that absolutely, he said, it's sudden and absolutely it's a shocking disruption, but it's not unprecedented. If you watch some of his videos in LinkedIn, he suggested to ask ourselves, how do we take advantage of what's different now and come out of it as a better, stronger company? In Synergy, we are calling it hashtag business not usual. Much as perhaps companies at this point in time may have come to face the realities of what's happening now, many are still not sure about how to navigate around this situation. We are all thinking about our business, continuity programs. We are still asking though, will the ECQ be lifted soon? Will it happen in mid April, end of April? Will it be in June? We don't know. That's around the 90 days from the start. Nobody knows for sure now, and nobody knows whether things will normalize right away after the ECQ has been lifted, or if we are facing the new normal. Whatever the date is, we can't just wait for this to happen and not do anything now, because it will take time before the pandemic will be at a manageable level. Things are uh, things are not going back to normal as we know it. Okay, just taking from this uh, quote from Health and Science, the vaccine may be, we can probably have a vaccine within 2 months or the earliest 12 months. So we don't know. We still don't know. And we need to brace ourselves with potentially embracing this new normal. So initially, so the initial shock happened. What companies are doing now is to put in place their business continuity measures and plans. And based on a study by Mercer conducted in February 6 and February 18, over 300 companies from 37 countries, 51% of the companies globally don't have a plan to combat the coronavirus outbreak. So we are not alone. Yesterday, I attended a webinar organized by the Management Association of the Philippines, and there they talked about what the focus of the companies should be at minimum, and the focus of the companies will revolve around human resources management, cash flow management, and operations and logistics management. That's if the company is in an essential industry. So definitely, these are the minimums that will determine how to keep the company afloat and how to deliver the products and services during the ECQ if the company is considered an essential in the essential category. So the next question is, how do you keep your brand that you've built through the years to still be relevant when things are business not usual? While it is important to take care of business continuity now, next we also ask the question, how do we take care of our customers? I'd like to take a quote from Lucien Ditioco. Lucien, if you're watching, hi. He's the EVP of Philstar Media Group and currently the president of the Philippine Marketing Association. In the forum that was held last March 23, which was a forum organized by Olern, he said that these uncertain days, indeed, our brands will be tested on how relevant we will be with our customers in these times. We need to keep the conversation going with our customers as much as we need to help the community. So we see a lot of companies that provided uh, or extended help to our frontliners or our health workers. And also, there are banks, there are telcos, there are utility companies who have extended the payment period for our own accounts. No, so far these companies are displaying compassion and empathy to their customers. There are also those companies that pulled out their ad spend to donate to our frontliners, and we've seen companies delivering meals or providing PPEs to the health workers. So this is how immediately some of the companies have responded to these uncertain times. But what should brands do during this crisis? Allow me to give you 4 tips uh, that we can take from in this time. First, we need to do social listening in this time of social distancing. Okay, currently we cannot approach nor observe people. It's not possible because of social distancing. And the major way or only way people communicate these days is through, you've guessed it, through social media and other online means. Thus, social listening at this time of social distancing will be a potent approach in understanding what's being talked about, what people are thinking of, their attitudes, and potential future behavior. There are many social media portals available that most would be using. And of course, these are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just to name a few. And we need to listen to what they are saying, what the people are saying, not just about our brand, but also what's being said of other brands, of other categories, of other industries, or globally, what are being talked about in other parts of the world. what are the things that they are currently doing. We could get ideas on their fears, what are their aspirations now, what will they potentially do. The first thing, the ECQ will, the first day that the ECQ is lifted, okay? So we may be able to pick up ideas on what they would like or not like to hear as messages these days, what they expect as a service, new service levels, given that they're working from home, where work and home life converge. I don't know, but really, I've I think we're working harder these days, even if it's we are at a work from home mode, because as mentioned, our work life and our home life are merging as one. Doing social listening, there are so many social media listening tools available. There are those that are free. You can just download and try them. But there are also those that provide more sophisticated social media listening, and they are able to generate reports at the click of a finger on what's positive or negative that's being talked about your brand or other categories. I've done some research, okay, just last night or yesterday, on some of the things that's being talked about uh, across certain brands. So allow me to give you some examples. Take a look at how Starbucks is being talked about in the past few days. Okay, one was saying, "Yay for coffee being considered in the essential food category." So she's happy that at least it's categorized under that essential product. And another one mentioned, "Yay, Starbucks for free coffee for healthcare providers, feeling appreciated and happy." So you could feel the brand love. We get an idea on how consumers appreciate and regard the brand. If this kind of conversation continues till the ECQ is lifted, do we do we think that the love will continue, or do we think this is just a fleeting moment, or uh, this is just for a certain segment of customers? So some questions just to think about these days. And also, some of the conversations happening around Jollibee. Uh, Look at this. I'm craving for this Jollibee. Padali taon ko ug libre ani malooy kas pobre. So essentially, what they're saying is that, please give me Jollibee. Kawawa naman ako. So, and another one was saying, hi, kailan kaya ulit tayo makakakain sa Jollibee? So you could sense the craving and the anticipation to participate and consume Jollibee, even at this point in time. So current craving and plea to Jollibee right now. So if you're Jollibee, how would you like to welcome your customers by the time people can go out and already eat on premise? Would you be providing group promos, Jollibee, to ensure that your customers come in groups? Or will you be extending your hours to accommodate the cravings of many customers whose cravings have been suppressed during the ECQ period? So even at this time, we can at least do some planning and program development, which we can potentially recalibrate as the days move on. But I also checked on Google Trends in terms of the how many are talking about Jollibee versus Starbucks. You see the blue line representing Jollibee in the past month. Those are the number of conversations that's happening out there. And then also Starbucks. Okay, you could see that the red line is a little bit dwindling and plateauing in recent days. So if the conversations around our brand is declining, how would we want to take action? What are the various plans do we want to put in place? so that at least we don't get forgotten by our customers. Yun. The second point I'd like to provide is we need to focus on customer pain points at this point in time. At this time, it is also good to listen and check the pain points of customers. This also provides new ideas for potential product innovations, enhancement of customer service experiences, just to name a few. It is crucial to know how our customers are feeling at this time as they avail of our services. And allow me again to provide an example for this. So earlier we saw that there are cravings and anticipation that's happening for Jollibee. All right. However, there was this customer who felt like nabudol siya. Okay, nabudol means I think naloko. Probably because yung minsan ka na lang umorder para sa family mo, nabudol ka pa. Grabe kaka-disappoint. Okay, asang-asa pa naman mga bata, tas budol lang pala. So, how do you now take action from, even if this is just one customer, we don't know whether, depends on the um, company policies. Do you address this? Do you wait for it to stack up? What kind of messaging do you need to do? Do you need to go and converse with this particular person or customer so that he or she can get appeased? Okay, and then unfortunately, again, these conversations are happening in the past few days for a bank. Okay, it's being compared with the other bigger bank in terms of why are they charging extra uh, service charge these days? Okay, um, are there going to be updates that they will be receiving soon, or the pain point of finance and late charges? If you try to if you're listening to if you know of the government request for the private sector, extension of payment schedules and service charges, the government is requesting that the companies reconsider these. So, seeing this comment, probably they're expecting the bank, the brand, already to be implementing some courses of action to sort of alleviate the pain point of the customer. And finance and late charges, we have already checked every detail. As mentioned by this customer, they are asking for help on the transfer funds, etc. So finance and late charges being imputed right now may not be a good action. We don't know whether the brand, the bank, has already seen this and whether they are taking action. As far as the customer is concerned, we don't know whether they feel that their complaints are going into nothing. Okay, so they're sort of waiting for some response from the bank. And as mentioned, even in these times, there are also conversations going around on how big companies are being bashed for the pollution created by plastic packaging. So even if some of these companies are doing their CSR in these times, there are still those who are doing conversations around the pollution, the implications on sustainability. So the question is, should the companies respond now and provide an idea of their interim solution to this. Consumers' emotions seem to be sensitive these days, thus, messaging and responding to these may need to be looked into. So, just by these few examples, we can already glean some learnings. We need to show that brands are listening and that the complaints are not falling on deaf ears. Service complaints need to be looked into. There are short adjustments that can be done to align the current expectations of customers in these times, so this doesn't snowball later on when the ECQ gets lifted. A third po- a third point that I'd like to impart is that we need to monitor the consumer behavior and attitudinal shifts. What's the coping behavior? This is very important. Coping behavior now and how this will potentially be adopted or shift in the future, we need to understand this. Um, Back in the days when I was still in the corporate world and during the Asian financial crisis, we tried to understand the meaning and the implications of the financial crisis on the basket of goods of cost of consumers. There we found out that certain categories will be dropped in favor of basics and essential goods. So, what are those categories that were planned to be dropped or already dropped? These would be household home cleaning products, the aerosols, or some activities such as eating out and other recreational activities will get dropped from the activities basket. So it is critical to understand the coping behavior now of consumers because we don't know if the basket of goods prior to the ECQ comprised of around 25 product categories probably. Right now, I'm pretty sure this has dwindled into the basic few, and we don't know how brand loyalty has gone out of the window already. We'd like to understand when will they start bringing back the product category that we are in into their basket of goods and services, or will the current basket of goods that's just comprised of the basic commodities, will this be the new normal? Until when? We don't know. And this is something that we'll need to monitor because there's psychology around habits. It says there are studies conducted that it can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a person to form a new habit and an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. So, depending on the type and complexity of the new habit, or probably the demographic and other characteristics of the person, the amount of time will vary. Simple habits could be like using an app for the first time or going online. As we all know, everybody went online, okay, in these days. So, uh, will this be the new normal or will they go back to their old ways? We don't, as to when, we don't know. Some other habits, like, for example, trying out or drinking water before meals may be fairly easy to adopt. But for example, exercising for around 30 minutes for 3 days in a week will probably take me a long time to get accustomed to, especially since I'm usually tied at my desk the whole day. So parents therefore need to monitor and understand how this quarantine period and the activities that came along with it, how this all of these will impact on future choices, on preferences and attitudes towards brands. Right now, as mentioned earlier, there's no brand loyalty. You're just probably going to take any brand of toilet paper, for example, or any tissue. But after the quarantine period is lifted, will they still remember our brand? Or since they've tried some other brands, will they be sticking to that new brand that they have gotten accustomed to? Is it time, therefore, for us to think about developing a new variant or minimize distribution of your premium priced variant while beefing up the distribution of your lower priced brand or variant? That's assuming that you have two variants that you market. So within the quarantine period, um, some of our customers may have already developed new habits which can influence their purchase decisions and brand affinity. So we might not be in their consideration set anymore. So that's why we need to watch out. Here's here's an example of why listening for customer sentiment is important. Okay, we need to monitor customer discussions, even around health concerns, monitor customer care, emails, phones, and service chats for changes in concerns or sentiments. We can align our brand purpose or develop new brands that will be aligned with the new needs of a new customer by monitoring these shifts in concerns and sentiments. The fourth tip that I'd like to share, the fourth and last tip, is that we need to anticipate, be agile, adapt, and we repeat. It's like it's like uh, being a business owner and being a marketer. I think we pretty much do this most of the time. So we need to anticipate already that the coronavirus economy or quarantine economy will reshape consumer habits and lifestyle, needs, aspirations, our customers' fears, their choices, and their preferences. We need to start thinking about our potential long-term actions, anticipate new needs, new experiences expected from the current baseline of habits that they are getting accustomed to. Just for example, shopping and live streaming, according to Henry Mason of Trend Watching, these are merging. So how do we anticipate how we deliver our products and services to our customers in the near future, given that shopping and live streaming are merging as one now? We need to sift through emerging needs and develop products, campaigns, service levels, and that uh, deliver those that will address pain points and address unmet needs. And I'd like to quote Henry Mason. He mentioned that at times like these, it's useful to be able to look at trends. Which new behaviors have early adopters already been embracing, and which trends look years away from the away from the mainstream, but now feel primed to become totally normal in months, if not weeks? McKinsey is saying that customers' changing preferences are not likely to go back to pre-outbreak norms. So McKinsey is a consulting company, and they're already anticipating that customers won't change their preferences and are not likely to go back to what we all know. So stay close to your customers. News from the Washington Post mentioned that Some will never reopen in a world where the shift from real to virtual suddenly has gone into overdrive. Suddenly, everyone needs to do digital transformation and fast. We need to learn fast. So how might we pivot our business in order to minimize the risk of being obsolete or irrelevant? Lessons from China shows that we need to determine the appropriate cadence and strike the right balance between commercial messaging and thus what our actions will be. Monitor changes in consumer behavior to help you be guided on how and what needs to be applied in your business. We can do short online surveys to help you dig deeper into their current sentiments, ask them about their current needs, how they feel about the current situation, and the kind of information that they need to appease their current situation, appease them. This is what currently the needs are anchored these days to provide meaning to the consumers. Per the study of Bain and Company, COVID-19 pandemic enhanced the need for affiliation and belonging, reduction and reduction of anxiety and physical risk. This is by no means different from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it's just that it's more pronounced on these certain aspects. So, taking from these value elements, brands can learn how to plan and translate their product development, brand offerings, content, communication strategies in order to be meaningful to their customers in these days. Understanding how consumers feel at this point in time and empathizing with them and their pain points would make for authentic content at this time. Adrian Terron from Tata Consulting mentioned that thinking about effective solutions at this time is the surest way to maintain a brand's pool even during trying times. Helping consumers deal with their anxieties in simple ways like sharing health advisories can build stronger emotional bonds at a time when the people are seeking reassurance. So think along those lines. The consumers need a hero now, and to be that hero, we need to listen and learn from the consumers themselves. And I'd like to quote Donald Lim, who's the Chief Innovation Officer and COO of Udena Corporation. He mentioned in the PMA forum that Olern organized with PMA last March 23. He said that build relationships with your customers, build your customer relationship platform. It's a race towards who will do it better. After a few weeks into the ECQ, we have absorbed and taken in the initial shock and are now getting back into the rhythm of business continuity, crisis management, all the more that we should be engaging our customers. We cannot be silent now, or we risk the idea of being irrelevant to our customers. So, in summary, um, inciting in doing consumer inciting, we need to do social listening during social distancing, and you can very well do that by checking on what the conversations are in Twitter, in Instagram or Facebook, and don't just focus on just your brand, but take a look at how others are talking about other brands, other categories, other industries, the world, government, policies, etc. Focus on customer pain points. By focusing on these, we may learn nuggets or gold nuggets of ideas that will help us pivot our business and our products and offerings faster and be more meaningful to our customers. monitor consumer behavior and attitudinal shifts. We don't know whether we are dealing with a new normal now. As mentioned earlier, habits get formed from a minimum of 60 days to 200 plus days. So we need to stay close to our customers, and we need to anticipate whether this new normal will be the baseline, so that we can manage expectations and we can provide better offerings, something different, something more special to them. Uh, Even at this time, we need to be agile, we need to pivot quickly, we need to adapt, and then we repeat that. As marketeers and as business owners, number four is it should be a habit for us. Some thoughts that we'd like to leave you, given what we have presented so far. Some business questions. What are the issues being discussed right now? How is your brand being perceived? Is it mostly positive or negative? Do we need to take action from any negative conversations that's happening there? Is brand loyalty dead? When will this resurrect? And what learnings from other categories can I take a page from? What are their emerging painful experiences or emerging level of experience? Which will be the new normal? What are product innovation ideas or calibration or process improvement points that can be considered now? From Synergy, we're saying that now more than ever, it is a time to endear yourself to your customers. But we need to stay calm, and we need to carry on. Let's do consumer insighting. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
there. Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Main.
Yes, daming learnings. So,
Mahaba ba? Sorry.
yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
okay.
okay. Social listening in this time of social distancing, ako gustong-gusto ko 'yon. Tapos focus on the customer pain points, monitor consumer behavior, and
The shifts. Yeah.
the shifts, and then anticipate the agile, adapt, and then repeat.
Repeat.
Yep. Galing. Thank you very much.
Eat, pray,
Yeah.
love. Repeat.
Miss Germaine, may question tayo dito from JC. So sabi niya, ay JC yan,
Mm.
sabi niya, hi Miss Germaine, what are your recommended strategies daw to entrepreneurs on how they can immediately bring back the confidence level of customers who may not have felt their presence during the ECQ? So for
Um,
example, yan, hindi ka masyado nagparamdam, hindi ka what can they do?
as mentioned by Lucien, even last March 23, we need to engage our customers, uh, send them email, or if you have a Facebook account, you can also use your page to show them that you're alive. Go back to the elements, the value elements earlier. Right now, the concerns of consumers are yung lessening the risk and
Mhm.
anxiety, diba? What's
Yes.
the other one? Uh, and affiliation and belonging. Maybe
Affiliation and
these can serve,
belonging, yeah.
yes, these can serve as thought starters for brands to think about how they can connect with their customers. Uh, think about your brand essence, or your brand positioning, your brand essence, your brand purpose. How will you align it given these current uh how will you call this, pronounced needs of the customers, diba?
Okay. Mr. Main, can you elaborate more on affiliation and belonging? Ano yung mga example na like what you've seen that other brands are doing to kumbaga ayan, maximize itong affiliation and belonging?
I think for example, diba, si Coca-Cola, they mentioned that they will not spend muna on media, but that they are going to plow their media budgets to help our health workers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so they're with that, that is a way to endear yourself with panic-stricken, panic-stricken patients, non-patients, health workers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so at least they know that hindi sila nag-iisa, and
Okay.
they know that this brand understands them and the current situation that they're in. So it's showing empathy and compassion.
Okay. I see. Got it. And I think isa sa mga, I'm not sure if you'd agree, one of the ano ba to, brands that is doing that probably is Ligo. I think yun, they
Mm,
have a
yeah, I
lot
saw
of
that.
campaigns na yun na
Yes,
very ano relevant.
yes, yes. So utilize digital because anyway, talagang digital. It's the only way by which we can converse with our customers, di ba? We cannot go out. We cannot, distribute leaflets. So
Mhm.
utilize digital in engaging with our customers and ano pa ba other means at this point in time.
Parang yun lang.
Pretty much
So
only
Viber,
digital.
I
Yeah.
so Viber, I've been seeing some ads of those the smaller food companies offering delivery. Okay, we can
Mm.
also use
Yeah.
Viber as a tool for us to still show that we are alive. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, we can deliver we can satiate your consumption needs at this
Mhm.
time.
Mhm. Okay. Sir Eric, do you have questions?
Well, you've said earlier, Mr. May, that brand loyalty is well, it's put to a halt. Uh,
Oh yeah.
while other marketers have said that you have to stay in touch with your customers. Uh, when is the right time while we are doing CSR oriented messaging to our customers? When would it when would be the right time to do certain pitches or pitching to our customers that would more or less ramp up that positioning towards the top of mind of your customer commercially, uh, slowly segueing out of that CSR mode.
Uh, I think I'd like to pull the learnings from China. It's really a balancing act, and that's why we really need to do social listening to find out when. Kasi right now, medyo, di ba, the emotions are high
Yeah,
and
I might take it
uh,
insensitive.
sensitive, yes. So as other brands are trying out their messaging, we can learn from the strategies that they are employing. So right now, parang uh, you would see those basic brands, base or essential categories um, showing their ads na yung more of ano more of yung mga transactions they are honoring longer payment, etc. Right? So right now, I don't know whether if most of the messaging are like that out there. Probably giving a hard sell on your product may not be an opportune time yet. So that's why we need to constantly look at what's happening out there. How are the other brands doing it? And let's see whether what are the tactics being used
Mm-mm.
and learn from all of those. Borrow the idea so that we can apply those strategies and messaging styles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Jerry, we have lots of viewers. Probably you can mention some.
Yeah, kanina, sina Miss Joyce nandito, si Kat Luna,
Wow.
Tess,
Hi, Kat.
Kahong Van, yan, si Alan Padua, Marco, Dennis, yeah, marami. Si JC,
Marco
of
of
course, si
DNA.
Roland. Yan,
Yeah.
JP Clarissa is also here. Yan, so thank you so
Hi.
May
much, guys, for
nag-message ng
watching.
huli.
Thank you for
May
watching.
nag-message
Yes.
ng huli para kay Ma'am Germaine. Yan, no?
Yan, how to become like you
Sino?
po. Si
Sino
Luis
yun?
Bellocura.
So
Hi.
inspired by your message.
Yeah. Miss
Just keep
Germaine,
on observing and listening nga. Oo. Yes.
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 May
Yes,
may
Sir
may
Jerry.
follow-up a question ako dun sa social listening kasi I like the
Mm-mm.
idea nung yung social listening in this time of
Mm-mm.
social distancing. So you also mentioned about those social listening tools that are free. Um,
Yes.
I think you mentioned about Google Trends. What are the other tools that SMEs can use to listen, to help them, kumbaga, yun, the listening more efficiently?
I one comes to mind right now. I think Talkwalker.
Talk
I'm not
walker.
ano ah.
I
Yeah.
see.
Uh you know, you can just Google it and you can see whether there are free social listening
Mm,
tools
okay, I
that's
see.
available. Yes, yes. So
Okay.
sometimes nga you can just do it yourself. Like
Mm,
me, I was researching just so fresh naman yung material that I will be sharing. So I just really just utilized hashtags so that at least I can pull the data and see what's being talked about for certain brands or categories.
oh, yeah, yeah. Si Tess, mention niya, their business daw belong to non-essential need. Is it fine that we are
Same here. Lahat
what they're
tayo.
doing is sharing the post from DOH, government agencies, etc. Since yun, hindi siya essential. And siguro, test sharing the Olern live to your customers. So,
Yeah,
okay
di
lang daw
ba?
ba yun?
As simple as that. Napag-usapan din 'yan do'n sa PMA talk nina Hoss, Lucien, and Donald. Share something meaningful. For example, as simple as, for example, resource links that are useful for your customers, 'di ba? Uh, uh, other uh, other ano pa yung sinabi ni Hoss? Marami siyang sinabi no'n. You can very well share those free information
Mm-mm.
just so also your customers will know that you care for them and there's something meaningful out there that they can also get for free.
Great. Tapos, yeah, may mga pahabol pang questions ngayon, Sir Eric, and Jermaine. Si Jeff naman, sabi niya, what kind of advice daw can you give to travel agencies na badly hurt by the effects of COVID-19? And how can they bounce back in terms of marketing? Ayan, million-dollar question yan.
Miss Universe question. Oh, I don't know. Actually, along with that, during even prior to the quarantine period, I was speaking with Lucien. Lucien, if you're listening, uh, I was worried about the daily wage earners. I called up Miguel Arañas. Okay, he's a design thinker, and we were thinking about are there new ways by which we can think of about these? Can design thinking help? And we came to the point na I think I think our government can do its part to help. There are already programs that's being set by the government to I think to help the travel industry, airlines, travel, hotels. I think for now they need to stay close to their customers para hindi naman sila makalimutan.
Mm-mm. Yes.
Yeah. So Jerry, I'd just like to say hi to my friends from Manila, si Kat, and from Newport City, si Miss Tina. Hi. good evening to all of you. Pain points of customers, probably three, as far as my personal point of view concerned. Number one, disease that can claim life. Two, freedom.
Yeah.
And three, cash. Yung cash flow nawala, yung freedom na restrict. Tapos paglabas mo, mahahawa ka. So pretty much, when you said, Miss Germaine, earlier, that it'll take X number of days to 200 plus days to be able to come up with that habit. Tingin mo, pag bumalik yung tatlo, nawala yung sakit, tapos nakalabas ang tao, bumalik ang pera gradually, will are the brands who prior to COVID were strong in messaging, kasi we're looking at 60, probably max 90, 200 plus naman yung sinabi sa study So baka nandun pa yung top of mind o nabura na ba talaga ni COVID?
It depends on the category. Actually, in my past life, where we were dealing with we had several brands, beverage company. Okay, the core brand, yan kahit hindi mag-advertise, natatandaan. Okay, there's another brand that we were able to establish out of sight, out of mind. So if hindi nag-advertise, hindi na siya matatandaan, bumabagsak ang benta. So it depends on the brand equity or the strength of the brand equity. How resilient is the brand equity? Sabi nga ni Lucien, this is a test of the brand equity. So we will see. That's why they need to listen.
Yeah.
We
Para
don't
hindi na
know.
bumaba.
We don't know whether the brand loyalty masyadong, for all you know, diba? Part of UAI question would be, if this brand is not available, which will you do? What will you do, diba? Buy another brand, go to another store and look for the brand, etc., diba? Always. Ngayon na hindi siya nabibili. Okay. And before the quarantine, out of sight, out of mind, all the more we need to be careful, right? But for those na may brand loyalty, how much of the brand loyalty has eroded kaya? We don't know. We don't know.
In this ECQ, si Cos actually coined the word yung quarantine economy. Quarantine
I like
economy,
that. I like that.
One word that really came about to everyone is the word essential, and somehow for manufacturers, some of them have actually pivoted towards essential products, like from brandy to alcohol. Some manufacturers like that. Caesar Cecilio, from toothpaste to alcohol. Are we
Well,
seeing
thank you
trends
as well. If they have the capability, yes. The basic essentials, if a company has a capability of producing the basic essentials, well and good, you're going to help the population, the consumers, diba? The government as well. Ang kinakatakot ko, okay, would be I'm afraid for business owners na, when the quarantine gets lifted, they will think of business ideas that's not aligned with a slowly going back consumer na hindi pa masyadong malayo yung iniisip. You know what I mean? So parang we need to be concerted in our efforts to understand what would, after the quarantine is lifted, ano ba yung mga categories na hahanapin nila? So that yung mga business owners, wag na masyadong malayo yung hinahanap, okay? Because ang kinakatakot natin would be all the more magko-close siya because hindi siya hahanapin ng consumer. Diba?
And that's the sensitive issue there, no? That's why I said earlier, uh, consumer or brand loyalty of a consumer, and suddenly after COVID, you find your brand doing something else, right?
Yeah.
And they would
Mm-hmm.
just shift towards another brand which would address
Mm-mm.
their need. No? Yun na nga since another word has come out in this quarantine economy, which is actually uh, adapt. When you said earlier, adapt and be agile and innovate. So somehow, when we get to innovate, there should be that radar towards customers, so that you will not leave them behind. Yeah, Sir Jerry,
Mm-mm.
there's a comment from
Sorry,
a
may
Mac.
I may I may I
Yes, ma'am.
interject? Um, if a brand is doing kuwari, a product ano, and then pivoted, created a new brand. From a branding standpoint naman, the question would be, do you create another brand so
Yeah.
that you don't
Yeah.
dilute the equity of this other brand that you have? So
Yeah.
from a branding standpoint.
Yeah.
Will
I think
brand
that's
extension be
the
applicable?
Mm-mm.
yeah, I think yun yung concern ni AMAC, Kathy. Sabi niya, we are catering all
Mm-hmm.
inquiries from customers instead of just our product lines. So tatanong niya kung
Mm-hmm.
okay lang ba yun, or do you think I am confusing the customers?
Di, okay lang naman. Pwede naman siya mag-develop ng new brand eh. A new
Mm-mm.
brand name for it.
Yeah. And I think now the mandate for all businesses is to survive. So,
Mm-mm.
yun
Mm-mm.
na lang muna.
Agree.
Make sure na you have cash flows coming in as much as possible, survive this
Mm-mm.
crisis, and then afterwards, yeah, fix yung kung ano man ang kailangan i-fix. So,
Yes. Mm-mm.
yan.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so ang dami nating napag-usapan, Sir Eric. Do you have other
Yes.
questions?
Marami, kaya lang alam mo kulang talaga yung oras natin.
Kulang yung oras natin.
Especially with the mga insights from Mr. Main, and
Yeah.
a lot of SMEs, especially the SMEs are actually groping because one, they're not really like the big top companies who have ad budgets that can easily uh, pour out so many messaging towards
Mhm.
customers. So ito
Mm-hmm.
yung kaya we really intended this session to be for them
Mhm.
to get insights from Mr. Main tonight.
Yeah. And siguro last na lang, tanong ko lang to, Miss Germaine. Since
Mm.
na-mention nga ni
Yes.
Sir Eric that many SMEs don't have a lot of budget, advertising, research, etc. Meron ka bang one or few tips na for them to do consumer insighting or consumer research na ano lang, parang para lang just to help them understand and know and understand their customers better?
As mentioned earlier, yung social listening, they can
Social
do
listening,
that.
yes.
And then now, since digital, we're online. Yung online research is the one that's being carried on right now. Online research is mas mura siya than mas
Then
mura siya
yung mga
than the
traditional na
traditional
research.
face-to-face research.
Yeah.
Although of course merong strengths and weaknesses yung traditional research as well as digital research. So hindi naman siya totally nag-overlap. It is complementary. Okay.
Okay.
So right now, in fact, like for example, we have a client na we've been doing face-to-face research. Kailangan namin mag dipstick reading now. Kasi every year, twice a year yun no? Ginagawa namin. So talaga forced to go to use online research. May mga strengths siya, may weaknesses. But right now, it's only online research that's being conducted. Telephone surveys, if it's still feasible at this point.
Okay. Thank you
Mm-mm.
so much.
So, mga
Sabi
Small
ni
surveys, ganyan. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, sabi ni Christina part 2 daw.
si Christy ulit.
Hi, sis!
Our treasurer from Philippine Marketing
Yes,
Association.
yes.
Part 2 daw. Okay. See? All right.
Okay, so thank you
Galing.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Miss
so much for having
Germaine.
me. Yes, yes. I hope may na-impart ako na learnings, and
Yes,
we need to stay calm so that we can think about how to move forward.
yes. Thank you so much. And
Thank you,
if
ma'am.
in
Thank
case
you, Mr.
somebody's interested to get in touch with
Yeah.
Synergy, where
Mhm.
can they where can they go?
Oh, they can go to our website and www.synergy.ph, and just there's a button there, info, or they can email lang pala. They can email info@synergy.ph.
Yan, info
Okay.
at
At synergy.ph.
synergy.ph. There.
.ph.
So, yan.
Yeah.
So, yan, if you're interested, yeah, to get in touch and with Synergy, yan. So, yan, you can email info at synergy.ph. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Miss
Thank you,
Germaine.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed
Hope
this
this will not be the
session.
last.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Anytime, anytime.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much. Keep
Thank you
Thank
so
safe
you.
and
much. Please
healthy.
have a good evening and happy
Yes.
weekend.
Yes,
Yes,
happy
Charge to
to
weekend.
come.
everyone. God
Thank
bless
Thank
you.
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Ayan, Sir Eric, dami nating natutunan ngayon kay Jermaine. Ako
Yes.
love ko talaga
Fully
yung
loaded.
yung
You
number
know,
one na social listening in this
yeah,
time of social
it's week 3, di
distancing.
ba? So
Yeah,
it's nice to get some tips, especially for our fellow SMEs, no? That they'll be able to have these insights, di ba? Magandang tingnan. Kasi we're already on the third week, finishing third week, going towards the fourth week. And we
yeah.
don't actually know if it's gonna be extended or not. But then again, since 3 weeks na tayo, sinasabi natin na rethink your strategy, go back to your teams, and that was the what. Ito na yung how. So we're now
Mm,
entering to the stages of our series where we provide our viewers with the how, and hopefully the insights of Mr. Main tonight was able to give you starting points on the how part. No?
yeah. Ako natakot ako doon sa sinabi niya na kumbaga yung loyalty ngayon, it's out of the window, 'di ba? Hindi na loyal yung mga tao. So talagang kailangan mo magparamdam sa mga customers
Yeah.
kasi otherwise wala, makakalimutan ka after this quarantine period.
Oh, kasi since what we're dealing with claimed lives and still continue to claim lives,
Mm.
that's really the base. Yun yung strongest driver towards, sabi mo kanina, word survival. So
Mm.
kumbaga, ako gaya ko, no, I'm not in perfect health. And sometimes when you're sick, you just take everything aside and you just focus
Mm.
on staying alive. So
Mm.
that's
Mm.
it. I hope everyone got so many good tips from our speaker tonight. All
Yeah, ang
right.
daming
So,
nagpapasalamat. Yon. So thank you so much everyone. Di na namin isa-isa, but
sa lahat,
again,
yung mga
thank you
nasa
so
abroad,
much.
maraming salamat. Nakita ko kanina, Sir Jerry, may mga galing abroad, no? And our
Yeah.
colleagues from PMA and AFI and some of our friends and other organizations who are watching, thank you very much.
Yes. So pasalamatan lang ulit natin, Sir Eric, yung mga partners natin, advocacy partners. So thank you so much again to Union Bank Global Linker. Thank you to AFI, Go Negosyo, Philippine Marketing Association, Let's Eat Pare, Institute of Management Consultants of the Philippines, Retail Academy, Lipreneur, and Tarky. Yan. So,
Yes.
day 9. Day
Session
9
number
natin, Sir
9.
Eric. Yeah. So, we'll see everyone on Monday. Pahinga po muna tayo this weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
So Jerry, i-announce mo na sa kanila kung paano natin gagawin next week.
Yes, next week po,
Since it's
since
Holy Week.
our schedule is supposedly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, kaya lang syempre Holy Week next week. So our session will be Monday Tuesday, and Wednesday. So tatlong araw po, sunod-sunod, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's here every 8 p.m. So on Monday, Thursday, so wala po tayong yan session. So
Yes.
yan, we'll see each other again after the Holy Week na. But so yan, the Holy Week next week, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Ayun.
May humabol, Sir Jerry from Tokyo, si Sir Erwin. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yun. From
Yeah,
Tokyo, sa
Tokyo,
Erwin
Japan.
Brunyo. Yes.
Keep safe kayo dyan sa Japan.
Yes. So, again, Ayan, paalam na tayo, Sir Eric. So, yan, thank you so much again for watching episode 9 ng Day 9 ng ating Olern Live. So, we'll see you on Monday, 8 p.m. again. Yan. So, for those pala who are, I promise na magkakaroon ako ng webinar, pero for some reason, I got very busy in the past few days. Hindi ko pa nagagawa. Pero I promise na nagagawin ko siya. So, yan. So, yeah, so I'll do that webinar hopefully next week na. So, yan. Sobrang na-busy lang. Pasensya po. So, again, thank you so much and see you on Monday, 8 p.m. same time dito sa ating Olern Live. Good night, everyone. Happy weekend.
Good night.
Bye.
Happy weekend, Sir Jerry. Okay,
Happy weekend,
thank you
Sir
very much,
Eric.
everyone.
Bye.